Hello learners, this is Jalpa, and today I am going to tell you a story named The Lost Child, written by Mulk Raj Anand, whose picture you can see on the screen. He was an Indian writer well known for his stories about the poorer section of the Indian society. We shall discuss the new words after the story, so close your eyes till then and get ready. Winter had ended and people had come out in huge crowds to enjoy the bazaars in the spring season. The story is about the olden days of India, so there were a lot of horses, bamboo carts, and bullock carts on the streets. Now there was a little boy who was enjoying his walk through the bazaar with his parents. Being a child, he was fascinated, means attracted to everything he saw on the streets. His parents had to call him to walk abreast of them, means with them, as he kept lagging behind. He could not stop looking at the toys in the shop that were left behind as he walked fast with his parents. He wanted to buy the toys, but his father was strict, so he controlled his desire and did not demand anything at first. His father used to look at him strictly if he demanded anything, but finally, when he could not control himself anymore, he asked for a particular toy, but his father looked at him like a tyrant. A tyrant is a cruel and unfair ruler, like Hitler or Aurangzeb. But his mother was very soft hearted, so she gave him her finger to hold and took him forward to see the other things. There was a large field full of bright yellow mustard flowers. Mustard means rye or sarso in Hindi. There were dragonflies, black bees, and butterflies around the flowers, which he saw. Dragonflies are insects which can fly. The child tried to catch the insects, but they flew away. Then his mother called out to him, and they started walking on the footpath, which is also called a sidewalk. When he was walking, he saw insects and worms coming out in groups to enjoy the beautiful weather. The child was so playful that when he entered a grove, he started collecting flower petals which fell from the trees, but dropped them when he saw the doves. He wanted to catch them too. A grove is an area full of trees, and doves are white birds which coo. When he was capering, means skipping and dancing around a banyan tree, his parents lifted him up to go to the fair, which is called Mela in Hindi. The path to the fair was not straight, so his parents took the child in their arms and started walking. The child was scared yet attracted towards the throngs, which means crowds, which converged, means gathered near the fair. There was a lot of chaos, means noise everywhere. When they entered the fair, they saw a sweetmeat seller, means a mithai wala, selling delicious sweets covered with gold and silver leaves, means they were work wali mithai, like barfis. The child wanted the barfi, but he said that in a very low voice. He knew his parents would not listen to him and they would call him greedy. Next, he saw a flower seller, means a florist, selling garlands of gulmohar. Now, a garland means har, phoolon ki mala. But again, he knew his parents would call them cheap, so he kept quiet and did not demand the garlands. So, because he did not demand for the garlands, he saw some other things and he got attracted towards them. Then he saw a balloon seller, but he thought his parents would say that he was a big boy, so he did not need them. After that, he saw a snake charmer, but again his parents did not allow him to listen to such low class music, so he kept on moving, though he was attracted towards the dancing snake and the charmer for a few moments. A snake charmer is a sapera. When he saw a roundabout swing, which is called a chakri in Hindi or merry-go-round, he bravely asked his parents to make him sit on that. But suddenly he realized his parents were nowhere near him. He could not see them anywhere. He cried, ran hither and thither, means here and there, but he could not find his parents. He came near a shrine, which is a small temple, but again he failed to find them. The strong and huge men over there jostled, means pushed each other, so the child could not even stand properly in the crowd. When a kind man saw him crying, he picked him up, asked his parents' name, offered him a ride on the roundabout swing, means a merry-go-round or a chakri in Hindi. But the child kept on crying and saying, I want my mother, I want my father. No matter what the man offered him, he kept on crying. The things which had attracted him earlier were useless to him after he lost his parents. That's how the story ends. What do you think? Did the lost child find his parents eventually? Let us hope he did. Now let us discuss the vocabulary. The first examples, means the first sentences below the words, are taken directly from the lesson. Please note that. Dragonfly. It's a kind of insect. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings. Bustling means they were going about busily. We saw a lot of dragonflies flying above the lake. Mustard means crops with yellow flowers. There was a vast field full of bright yellow colored mustard flowers. Mustard fields look golden in the sunshine. Alleys. A narrow passageway. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Emerged means came out, and gaily clad means these people were dressed for a happy occasion. Gay means happy, and clad means covered. That alley is too dark without the street lights. Brimming over means to be overflowing with emotions or something that is in liquid state. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. The river was brimming over last monsoon. Now the first example is an example which tells us about emotions which brim over, and the second example is talking about water which was brimming over. Lagged behind means left behind. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. I lagged behind in the race because my legs ached, means pained. Fascinated by means attracted to. The first example is as above. I was fascinated by the information in the Guinness book. Lined the way means they were arranged in a line. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. Flowers line the way to the temple during festivals. Lingering means long lasting. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. The smell of the perfume was lingering. Receding means moving away. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receding toys. The trees outside my window were receding as the train moved fast, as you can see in the picture. Suppress means stop or crush. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart. I suppressed my laughter when I saw the man slip on the stage. I couldn't laugh loudly, that would be rude. Cold means not friendly or unfriendly. He could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the cold stare of refusal in their eyes. My friend was cold towards me after I broke his tie. My friend was cold towards me after I broke his toy. Tyrant means a cruel and unfair ruler. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. Adolf Hitler was a tyrant. Melted means softened or became friendly. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold. The fierce dog melted when I gave it a biscuit. Pale means colorless. It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles. Now this was pale because there was a lot of sunshine um, that directly fell on the field. That's why the color looked pale. It was so bright that it looked pale. I think you're running a high fever because your skin looks pale. Gaudy means over bright or flashy or too uh, badly decorated. It doesn't look beautiful actually, but here it did. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. Now, dragonflies can be written with a hyphen or without it. The dress was beautiful but gaudy. Abreast means side by side in the same direction. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while. That road is not safe for cyclists to ride two abreast. That means two cyclists cannot go on the same road together. It's not going to be safe for them if they do. Teaming out means coming out together. Little insects and worms along the footpath were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. The hungry ants teamed out to carry the pieces of bread away. Grove means a group of trees. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove. There are many mango groves in my village. Now, here, young flowers means fresh flowers, freshly bloomed or newly bloomed. Caper means skip or dance happily. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree. The puppies capered towards their mother. Throngs means large crowds. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs. There was a throng near the school notice board after the results were put up. Converging means meeting. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of throngs converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. Now, here the word whirlpool doesn't mean the actual whirlpool, it means the whirlpool of people. The three rivers converge to form one single river. Repelled means scared. The first example is given above, below converging. The ghost stories of the palace repelled the tourists, means they were scared to go inside because of the stories they had heard. Reiterated means repeated. The child turned his nose away from the basket and reiterated his sob, I want my mother, I want my father. I remember the story, so you do not need to reiterate it. Disconsolate, very unhappy and uncontrollable. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. This was after the child was lost. My brother was disconsolate when his team lost the match. Now, this is your homework. Find the sentences from the lesson containing the following words and frame sentences of your own. I've given the meaning of the words, but you can find the examples from the text, and the link to the text is given in the description. You can find out later. Heeded means paid attention to. Overwhelming means very strong in terms of emotion. Forbidden, not allowed. Coarse, unpleasant. Intently, carefully. Congested, full of. Hefty, large and heavy. Thrust, push. Knocked, hit. Brutal, harsh or rough. Trampled, crushed. Surging, powerful. Soothe, relax. Pleaded, requested. Double pitch strain, usage of a lot of force. Bore, carried. The second assignment is find the link in the description, read the lesson, and attempt the following exercise. Thank you. See you next time.